sprung from Tempo Storm. See if maybe LFM has a few tricks of their own, potentially. Volskaya, we've seen some unique strategies from multiple teams on this. LFM, when I talked to them this week, they didn't quite allude to any type of interesting strategies.
Okay.
Maybe they're just like, look, we don't trust you yet, Jay-How. You're still kind of new, so we're not going to give you much information. Or maybe they just, you know, they just feel like playing on a neutral area, have that single point control, see if they can and make it to their advantage.
Versus Space Station, they played a very straight up comp, but that was their first or second series of the entire HGC Part 1. So it's very possible that in that amount of time they've developed some sort of strategy here. But it was straight up, it was the Anubarak with the Stukov too. We had seen some teams try to use that, and it was to mixed success. But for LFM, they have a lot of synergy. If they can get their Dahaka again, I think that would be a really big help for them too. Keeps them in the game with the experience, and it always sets up for a possible play because he is always landing those drags.
Always. It literally feels like at every big moment of the game, Swabs is there on Dahaka, putting that big old tongue out and grabbing somebody, and they came very close in a couple of those fights to really turning things in their favor, but Psalm's play, keeping people alive on Medivh, is definitely a bit problematic.
Volskaya, Foundry, Tempo Storm has shown us a few different things. Really, NA has shown us how flexible you can be on this map, but there's different ways of trying to get ahead, get a lead. We've seen some Zeratul play, Cho'Gall, Junkrat play too. There's a lot possible here. Ragnaros has been another thing. Tempo Storm had a really cool Ragnaros Hanzo composition for long-range blow-up comps. So there's a lot that's possible here. Let's wait and see what the bans start with.
Will Kerrigan be the ban again? The Ragnaros, you know, going into that, between the Alexstrasza and Ragnaros, they just give so much. For both of them combined, I mean, is there a better combo when it comes to shrine control on that map?
The Alexstrasza Ragnaros?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really feels like it's the cream of the crop. Uther ban? That is pretty curious.
So we've had Uther. So it's been Malfurion and Uther. Maybe daring LFM to potentially go into Malfurion before the second ban phase. Because if you take Uther and Malfurion out of the equation, you're left with Rhaegar, who can be very susceptible to a dive-style composition. And then you fall into a realm of, he played Lucio earlier, and then Stukov. Those are the only other two supports that the Aware has played. So.
And an ETC ban from LFM, keeping with tradition for them in the last two games. Tyrael's up. Do we go back to that for Tempo Storm?
If you're willing to let Hanzo go through.
NG. Pretty interesting to see a team be willing to pick ban Uther, then pick Genji, even without that available, and knowing that the other team can then get Tyrael, and Tyrael Greymane, which is even stronger together.
It does seem like Draded on Greymane feels pretty strong right now.
He does. Yeah, that double kill as he was going down was a great play.
He actually averages 2 kills per game for this team, which is 10th in North America. And given, you know, their early hurdles that they had to get over, you know, that's actually pretty standout, and it's been on a constant climb for them. The thing that is most impressive about it is that he only dies 1.1 time a game, which is also in the top 10, which puts him at a very favorable KD of 1.9. It's not exact 2.0, 1 point, it's just rounding, right? But it's a very favorable 1.9 KD for him, which is a very strong number here in North America and actually throughout the world. When you get down, when we were talking about numbers earlier for Tempo Storm sitting at that close to 2 in terms of KD, when it comes to numbers like that and close to 10 kills per game as a team, that's actually substantially high when you look at the history of HGC, the history of competitive heroes, is that when you're in those numbers, you're actually putting yourself in the top 5 historically on what tends to be the top 5, top 6, top 8 teams that normally make it to the large international events. So Tempo Storm's numbers coming into the series, Gilly, have actually been historically high when it comes to their KD and their kills per game at this point of the season, and it's only going to go up from here because they've played really strong. So when we look at those numbers in particular, they've actually shown, despite their loss, they are the most dominant team here in North America by far.
Yeah, when we look at their stats from the past, like from last year. It's a lot more like what we would see from right now with Team Freedom. Very low deaths, really low deaths, very good there. But they're doing that, but adding on a lot more kills per game than Team Freedom. So having the lethality while still maintaining and making sure that they're playing cleanly. And yeah, we've seen some picks, some things that they can improve on, but you see where they're going with that. Their KD ratio actually is 3rd in the world behind Dignitas and Tempest. Did you see Poik's KD? I know we got to get back to this, but Poik's KD is the #1. It was #1 going into this weekend. He was 9.
Yeah, I think he broke the video game.
Yeah.
He
The
broke
next
it.
highest is Snitch at 4.9. So, like, Poik, what are you doing? What do you do? Teach us some tricks. All right, let's get back in this game. We've got an Abathur ban, a new Barak 2, LFM back to the
Whoa!
my.
Whoa!
That's not T-Sprung.
Oh. Okay, so just so you're aware,
Okay.
this is nothing new
Yeah.
for members on LFM.
This
You
is
go
the
back to
OG.
Open Division in early part of last year. T was a part of a composition that would run a Cho'Gall. This is not new. Also, when we saw Tempo run this, their level 4 talent where they did not go the questing stack on the Rune Bomb was a little bit of a head scratcher for a lot of people in the Pro Division. They will not pass that up in this one. It's something I actually talked to Draded about. I'm like, when you saw this, did you expect that? This is a team with members that have run Cho'Gall multiple times in their past and had a lot of success. Yes, it's an open division, but you have to practice it to get on a certain level. This is not new to these guys. So I expect this could be pretty fun.
Are you saying the LFM is saying Tempo Storm get on our level with this Cho'Gall right now?
It could be, but Stitch is going to say get in my belly.
Yeah, so you see the Anubarak ban, that's obvious. Tempo Storm had to play their Cho'Gall into Anubarak. The Cocoon was really good, and then the follow-up stuns to lock down Cho'Gall for a long time while they had things like 7-sided strike. That's very good. Tempo Storm didn't go into a Tychus. They're still going to go into Hanzo. He has Giant Slayer as a means of trying to bring down that really beefy health bar. They have Malthael too. Malthael's percent damage kind of slower. It ticks through. Genji's going to have a hard time trying to get a reset off of the Cho'Gall, but there's a Greymane too, and I liked the Greymane steal away because of the Cursed Bullets.
Fun fact.
Okay.
Stitches has a higher health pool than Cho'Gall. What? I don't know what is going on anymore.
Let's go!
I don't know what to say with that. That is not what I was expecting. No.
Are you ready for adventure? Trick question, we're all ready for adventure. It's the first Lily of all HGC.
So going back to the same
Just check this out.
thing that, yes? I'm pretty sure
The first
it doesn't
Lily.
show up on there.
The first Lily.
So the way this could potentially work, Lily was reworked. You have the Serpent Dragon that you can put onto Cho'Gall. Callous Tide at level 1 gives you that extra healing when you have the trait. So Cho and Gall, only one of them can have the trait. And if you have that with Cho, you can use that Serpent Dragon to get more healing, which it's slightly reworked. Lily also has a 45-second cleanse, which is shorter than the traditional one, ever since her rework. I don't know if this is the spot where I expected it, but let's find out.
It also combos with fast feet. And it had a really short range to like kind of compensate, but it was also increased. The range was increased. She's received actually a few buffs since the support nerfs went in, so let's see.
T was always the Gall, by the way, when it came to...
Oh, you know what it is? It's T.
I know.
Such a good name.
It was just your enthusiasm behind it all. Your enthusiasm behind it all was like, wait a minute. So the other thing is their support aware is the one playing Cho. Just to put that out there, as Draded on the deadly assassin of Lily.
Hey man, her early game is nothing to sneeze at, her damage. There's some things to keep in mind. You know, we talked about the possible Giant Slayer. There's also the sharpened arrowheads, which is going to be keeping a lot of armor reduction on that Cho'Gall. Cattle was hoping for the hook.
Okay, he didn't go Callous Hide, by the way. Instead, he went Consuming Fire, which if you have somebody ignited, when you auto-attack them, you get more healing. So you heal on heroes that are ignited, which that's how Cho has a little bit of self-sustain.
All right, so the last time we saw Cho'Gall on this map, let's just talk through in case it wasn't seen. Volskaya usually goes to these longer game times. It's often that you almost always see the third protector phase, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that you're going to get to the fourth one. And you're going to get into, I don't even remember how long that long game was with Azmodan, but it was like 30-ish minutes. So you get these long games, and Cho'Gall can really start to ramp up. He also has that free siege, thanks to the fact that he doesn't have any mana, and Tempo Storm were hoping to take advantage of that. They also had the Junkrat as a way of trying to keep up with the Soak, but Freedom did a really good job of picking wave clear heroes. They also had Ragnaros to slow down that free push from Cho'Gall. So Tempo Storm, it's on them to do the same thing to LFM what Team Freedom did, and just try to run this one less body around all over the map.
So if they don't go the Rune Bomb questing talent at 4, I will become a Lili main after this game.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And we only have a little bit longer until we find out.
Hook's going to miss. That entire wall is down. Tempo's already given themselves a little bit of a lead, but getting that camp, it looks like they're going to siege up here in the top lane, see if they can get some structure advantage themselves. Okay. The world is good again. Bombs away is the talent pick. That is an infinite questing talent. After you detonate, so you throw the bomb out and you detonate the Rune Bomb onto a hero. And it stacks multiple times if you get multiple ones. After you get 20 of them, it increases the speed and the range of that bomb. It is an infinite questing talent. Every time you hit somebody, its damage is increased by 5. And Cho, on the other end, picks the level 4 talent of rollback, which means that it normally just goes out. But when you pair that with this level 4 talent, you have 2 opportunities because it will roll back to the position of the body of Cho. So if you throw it out one way, you'll see teams that will utilize that. Experienced Cho'Gall teams, this is going a little bit crazy, but they will move their position. They'll use the shove from Cho on Gall to move that into position to get that Rune Bomb value. You will see miniature plays like that happen.
Plays being happening. Cattle gets a hook on Drada. The boop was there from June. They just about get the kill, but he makes it back out, using that fast feet to full effect. I'm wondering if we see any adjustment from the Malthael build to compensate. There is mortality that you can get at 7, which gives you that Wraith Strike percent-based damage, as more of the percent-based damage to chunk through that Cho'Gall. Or Touch of Death, you know, if you want to use that as the Jug of 1,000 Cups comes out. If that's going to be the choice for heroic ability for Lili, I honestly have no clue. You already have Sanctification, maybe it's just going to be a Water Dragon. But there's some things to keep in mind. Let's see what Glaurung ends up picking up there. It is going to be Mortality.
You can see already T is making those moves to try and get the rollback value. It's just going to infinitely throw out, continue to get stacks, up to 5 stacks. Again, Cho'Gall is a late game composition. 13 and 16, you get the silence at 16, and at 13, you get the cooldown reduction based on how many enemies you hit, not heroes. So if there's a lot of minions, you can infinitely throw this out back to back to back to back. It's just making it to the late game as a Cho'Gall comp. That's why Volskaya is the favored battleground to run this style.
And that's why Tempo Storm, they had a little bit of time. They had a couple of picks left to do what they needed, to get what they needed, to make sure that they could not allow that Cho'Gall to scale up in power. They have gotten onto this point. They're starting to channel that while still making sure that they're keeping a good balance of soaking out the lanes, keeping Fan here in the bottom, and Malthael has been rotating back and forth. And there's the first Triglav Protector picked up by Stitches.
This does make for an easy target if you are trying to get Cho'Gall to defend that. Cho'Gall just getting that middle wave down. Figgy defending here by himself. See if Cho'Gall and team can make it in and get some more stacks.
What do you think about the choice of bottom lane to siege here? Do you feel like it hints to future protectors, like maybe the third, if they feel like they're going to be in the lead there? Try to get this down and then use it immediately to get a keep?
I mean, it feels like that it just kind of softens it up. You know, they've already gotten a little bit You can use the camp in the top lane, and it's a little bit easier as they've already opened up mid. I kind of expected them to maybe push in mid to try and get 10, but they're making a lot happen here in the bot lane. This will get them 10 here in a minute.
That they are. The Sport almost about to go down as the charges, the Surging Fist, the charge for the Tree Block Protector. And as the fort falls, 10 here for Tempo Storm. Gorge is the Stitches grab. Everything else, yeah, I wondered. I wondered if we're gonna have Last Rites. This is not the new changed Malthael, but we're still gonna have the mortality to have that 4% max health damage with Wraith Strike every time, and then Last Rites, J-How.
Yeah, Last Rites, again, it hasn't changed, but it does do a percentage of the damage. And when you talk about high health pulls, you can get that down and then try and execute with Genji, execute with Hanzo. If you can get the kill off of it, get the questing part, but getting 2 kills out of that is Last Rites value. Even if you don't get the initial kill and you don't get that stack, it's still very much beneficial if you can use that to at least confirm the kill after it goes through with the rest of the team. Because 2 kills for 1 heroic, pretty substantial.
Absolutely. And 50% of their missing health, that's going to be able to do a lot to catch up through that really beefy health bar of Cho'Gall. We've got a Hammer of Twilight, Shadow Bolt Volley. Last time, I think it was Hammer Twisting Nether. Shadow Bolt Volley is super strong, especially at 20, if that's the choice of heroic ability. 20 is very strong for a Cho'Gall. There's a lot of different options there. It is Jug of 1,000 Cups, too, for the healing.
Yeah, definitely keep them alive. We are sitting at 12 stacks on that Rune Bomb. Once it gets to 20, you will see it move a lot faster and a lot further. And again, post-level 13 and 16 becomes far, far stronger.
Yeah, and it helps it, makes it easier to get those stacks because of the increased speed and range. So that can really start to exponentially grow for LFM. But Tempo Storm in the meantime, sieging down yet another fort, using that time in the mid. LFM ready to get into the engagement. Psalm is low. Shadow Bolt Volley takes him out as the Soundberry was hoping to save him. Hook in the Gorge.
Oh,
this
no.
is Lily inside.
Yeah, that's going to be a deadly thing. Trade-off there.
One sad panda for one angry Hanzo, I guess.
Just call him a human.
He seems pretty angry. Yeah, there you go. 13 on board for Tempo Storm, especially if they can try to take down that final fort in the mid.
The LFM, no matter how far they get behind, they always have a way to come back. This time, they have much, I would say, a higher probability when it comes to the Cho'Gall because of the 13-16. It's getting there. And there's only been 1 fort taken down. This one's probably soon to fall. But for what it's worth, Tempo hasn't been able to really bust this game open with only 1 kill so far.
LFM surely aren't making that fort kill very easy, but Tempo get it just in the nick of time as the control point is unlocking right now. LFM will get 13 pretty soon, but it sets up Tempo Storm to at least get a head start here on the control point.
Fan just casually pushing bottom. Figgy, again, no hard CC for them to try and counter this, but that is a big wave that Figgy and team cannot pass up. Greymane, however, on this, he's going to be found out. He might go down.
Yep, there's the Last Rites. Oh, just missed, saving him with Sanctification. The rest of the team are going to come in. Long Range Dragon's Arrow, Hanzo helping out. He's going to run in and try to help out even more. The Jug of 1,000 Cups, keeping LFM healthy. Cattle's going to try to take him outside of the range, or at least, if nothing else, keep him from getting the healing from it. They'll take him down for another couple of kills.
Well, they said they weren't able to bust it open just yet, but that's a big way as they get 4 kills as Cho'Gall obviously counting as 2 there. And they'll instantly push in this bot lane, and that could potentially open for that Triglav Protector to come down and maybe take an early keep here just about 10, 11 minutes in.
Another hook, hit swabs. Yeah, it was a big deal getting the kill onto the first target there for Tempo Storm. They felt comfortable enough to leave Lucio all the way in the top. They had that 13 advantage still. Now they're working on a potential 16 advantage even before LFM gets 13. The Last Rites was solid. Sanctification had already been used. The fight went on after that. And with that, getting the Cho'Gall kill too, Tempo Storm has found they're opening. We'll see if they can open that up to a keep kill, too.
Well, they have Cho'Gall here trying to do the damage. They did hit the 20. Again, 2-second cooldown on heroes, 1 second on minions. So they do have it, and that rune bomb is just going out over and over again. But this keep is about halfway down. They're trying to hold on. Jugs are out. They're trying to put the pressure onto Tempo.
June's taking a ton of damage. Biggie's just chasing him down. Along with that, sound barriers used. The keep still stands. It's about a quarter of a health left. Tempo Storm hanging around. They have that 16, but it's been quite difficult to siege up against that Cho'Gall now.
The Cho'Gall sitting at 26 stacks, and it's going out. Cooldown reduction, and then every time it hits that hero, remember, it is an infinite stacking quest. They are finding ways to hit multiple people all the time. As this goes on, it's only going to become more painful to try and hold, but that's one way to deal with it. Sanctification is available.
Speed him out through the conveyor belt too. Dragon's Arrow stuns and locks him down. They've got the shield, they've got the Sanctification, and they have the livingness for the moment as the Dragon Blade starts to go down. 2 more kills, the hook. Team wipe for Tempo Storm with that Dragon Blade. Marching right on to the keep and likely more.
They're going to push directly into the core. 20 seconds. They don't have a great sieging composition. Genji, Hanzo, Malthael, not the best, but with 5 full members, the shield has fallen, and it looks like Tempo Storm might have cracked the Cho'Gall code after all by not playing it.
It does indeed seem that way, but LFM bringing in a composition that is sort of old school for them and having the Cho'Gall. They brought in a little bit of the